After planet Earth's birth, when it burst up from the central core of energy as a terrifically hot ball, a swirling mass of fire, it began the process of cooling down, hardening, and turning into rock. It was a long time after birth, cooling enough to start the process of life on it. The ball of fire blazing in the distance, which was to become our Earth, was visible at all times for hundreds of thousands of years, until gradually it began to cool. Many more eons went by before the flights to planet Earth began from the Andromeda galaxy. One of the biggest misinterpretations in the Bible was the misinterpretation of time. The saying that God made heaven and earth in 6 days and rested on the seventh, and God said, "Let there be light," and so on, came about by the spacemen describing what they saw when they made their trips every 1,000 years or so. The first day, biblically speaking, was the first trip, the second day, the second trip, and so on. The first day mentioned in the Bible referred to the first ships from the other galaxies. The Andromedans made the first 2 trips. The first trip was a discovery of the amoeba. On the second trip, they discovered that it had progressed into an upright animal form. These would be the first 2 days, biblically speaking. When the evolving animals were found to be standing upright, they were huge in size, what would be termed a giant in today's world. At the same time that they were inseminated with genes, they were also miniaturized to bring them down to the approximate size of the spacemen. The process took several generations. A new experiment was started on the animal form at this time that is still ongoing today. All of the animals that split the internal organs were artificially inseminated with genes from higher planets. The alteration that had to take place before the experiment could begin had to do with the internal digestive system, because the digestive system is the processing plant, you might say, for psychic energy. It is not, as everyone would like to think, in the brain. The energy center is in the digestive system. When the experimenters from Sirion saw this alteration happening, they began their experiments. They had been through this before and knew what to look for on this planet. These experiments had to do with the addition of chakras. The band of energy, the lightning bolt, coming from planet 3, wanted to know everything. They wanted to get into those things that were standing up and grouping together and experience what they saw those things experiencing. We'll call them cavemen, as that is what they had evolved to by this time. But let there be no doubt about it, they came from the apes. Up at the top of this whirlpool, the energy snapped loose and shattered into billions of fiery sparks. This was what Lucifer wanted. Now these sparks could get into some of those bodies, the bigger ones, the ones that were standing on their 2 hind legs and walking around. The shattering of the sparks provided an individualized piece of strong energy to enter the more advanced life forms, the ape man or caveman, if you will.